glory, Man United, as the Reds go marching on. Manchester United have just dismantled Newcastle to win the Carabao Cup 2-0, our first trophy in 6 years. This manager and this team are bringing this great club back to glory, and I can't wait for what else is to come. I said this after our win against Barcelona on Thursday. Is there anything this manager cannot do? Is there any challenge this team cannot overcome? Absolutely fantastic performance from Ten Hag's side in this game. We won it in the first half. Newcastle controlled the possession, but they didn't create a single big chance all game. At no point did it look like Man United were going to concede. So many great performances to talk about today. So let's get started by talking about both managers' tactics in this game. And if you like what you see and you're as excited as I am about where Ten Hag is taking this team, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to never miss out on content just like this. Coming into this game, there was a lot of chatter about the way that Newcastle play. Erik Ten Hag used the term annoying to describe their style. And for those that haven't watched Newcastle play this season, might have expected them to defend deep, give up possession, and counterattack. But they actually came out to play with 61% possession and 15 shots on our goal. And that's how they've actually been playing all season. In the last 10 games, they've had 4 wins, 2 losses, and 4 draws with an average of 55% possession. So they've been dominating the ball on the regular. But their problems come in from scoring just 9 goals from almost 19 XG in those 10 games. And that's just not good enough at the highest level, and that's exactly what they struggled with today. After going 2-0 down in the 39th minute, they had about 50 in-game minutes to score just 1 goal to get it started, but they couldn't create a single clear-cut chance, and they didn't even look like they were going to. Man United were happy to protect their 2-0 lead, and they didn't give Newcastle a second to breathe on the ball. So Newcastle started in a 4-3-3, but played a 2-3-2-3 in possession, while United started in a 4-2-3-1, but played a 4-1-3-2 out of possession. Let's get started with talking about Newcastle. So Newcastle were playing a front 3 of Callum Wilson, Miguel Almiron, and Alan Saint-Maximin. Behind those 3 were Joe Linton and one of Longstaff or Guimaraes. Now Howe allows these 2 to play rather interchangeably throughout the game as 8s or 6s because Guimaraes is just wasted as a pure CDM. So sometimes you'd see Longstaff sitting deep and Guimaraes getting forward and vice versa. And behind these 2 were the midfield 3 of the 2 fullbacks and whoever was playing deeper. And then the 2 center backs were just building up the play from the back. Now Newcastle's main goal was to create overloads on either flank by using these 2 sets of 3 players that you see on your screen to either force Rashford and Antony back to help more defensively so that they're not as effective going forward, or to exploit the space left by them in case they don't track back. And we saw examples of both of these scenarios in the game. On the right, they relied on overloads by Trippier, Longstaff, or Guimaraes and Almiron, but they were most threatening from their left side with Saint-Maximin one-on-one versus Dalot. And I have a clip for you guys that'll show you both of these threats at the same time. We start with Fabian Schär about to play a ball out to Miguel Almiron in the inside half space here. As Almiron receives it, he lays it off first time to Trippier on the right wing. As Trippier receives it, watch how Sean Longstaff has made the third man run from the midfield area here past Miguel Almiron to get into the space in between Luke Shaw and Martinez. And since Casemiro is tracking Almiron here, it's either Bruno or Rashford that needs to track Longstaff, and ideally it'd be Rashford, but Bruno is left to do the defensive work here. So Trippier plays an easy pass into Longstaff in this area here, and as Longstaff is about to strike that cross, Eddie Howe and all of Newcastle's fans would be wondering why Saint-Maximin hasn't made the back post run to get on the end of this cross. So it ends up being a perfect cross driven across goal in between the defenders and the goalkeeper, and it ends up at the feet of Saint-Maximin, who's one-on-one with Dalot. And Mr. Gucci Headband himself leaves Dalot for dead with a sweet move in the box and takes a shot onto goal that De Gea saves by making himself big. And for some reason, Martinez is inside the goal because he's trying to deflect the ball out. This guy's just crazy, man. They don't call him the Butcher for nothing. But from this clip, you see Newcastle's threat from the right side because neither Rashford nor Bruno tracked the runner from midfield. And you see the threat of Saint-Maximin versus Dalot because he's just great one-on-one. So Ten Hag's plan to counter Eddie Howe was to play a 4-1-3-2, where Casemiro was holding the deepest of the midfielders. Bruno, Fred, and Weghorst were tasked with pressing Newcastle's 3 midfielders, and they were pressing each of Longstaff, Guimaraes, and Joe Linton in pairs throughout the game. And the goal was to win the ball back and get Rashford and Antony running the channels in behind the two center backs as soon as the ball is won back. But the counterattacks didn't really materialize throughout this game because Newcastle actually showed some decent composure on the ball to deal with the press that United was putting on them. But Weghorst in particular stood out to me as the most impressive United player in the first half. And I have a clip to show you guys and some stats to get into in the end to show you exactly why Weghorst was so impressive. So we start with Luke Shaw and Trippier fighting for an aerial duel, and Trippier ends up winning it, but the ball goes straight to Fred, who's about to play it out to Weghorst up top. Now I want to pause here and say, if you like the video analysis that I do with the in-game footage, check out Once Video Analyzer Pro with the link in the description below. It is the software that I use to draw these graphics that you see on screen here, and it really makes my life easy. You can try it for free, and if you like it, use the code FOOTY10 to get an extra 10% off your purchase. Now let's get back into it. So Weghorst receives the ball from Fred, but gets pressed immediately by Shaw, so he ends up losing the ball to Bruno Guimaraes. Immediately, you see Weghorst showing hunger to track the ball down and get the ball off of Newcastle. Just how many times have we seen a Man United striker lose the ball in an area like this and just give up on the possession? You can think of Ronaldo while he was here, Martial and all the time he's been here, and even Rashford. But Weghorst doesn't stop there. He presses Joelinton as well, who passes it out to St. Maximin. And as that happens, we see Dan Burn making a third man run beyond Dalot into this space here, and all of Casemiro, Fred, and Varane are too narrow, too compact to do anything about a ball that goes into this area. But Weghorst sees this run and he tracks it at right back to stop Dan Burn from putting the cross in, and he actually manages to deflect the ball, which goes straight to Casemiro. Now that ball could have gone to any of these three Newcastle players that are here and could have created a chance on goal for Newcastle. Weghorst can't be given enough praise for the work that he did there, pressing 4 different players and stopping a cross from coming in. And this clip right here is why Ten Hag keeps playing Weghorst in the team. People are expecting him to score every chance that he gets or play the perfect pass every time, but Ten Hag had 3 or 4 other players in the team already that could have done all those things. What he didn't have was a hard-working striker who can press from the front and make it difficult for teams to build out from the back or build out from midfield. And Weghorst does this reasonably well for a €3 million loan signing. And Weghorst had a big role to play in the second United goal as well, as we see in this clip here. We start with Casemiro winning a header at the halfway line, and Rashford wins the first ball and it lands at Weghorst's feet. As Weghorst drives forward with the ball, United are 4v3 or 5v4 depending on how you look at it, and because Weghorst is given space to drive infield, Luke Shaw is out of the question for a pass for Weghorst. And so he either finds Rashford in behind the Newcastle deep line or stops on the ball and tries to find a pass through to Bruno or Anthony on the other side. So Weghorst releases it at the perfect angle to get past the outstretched Shaw and the perfect weight of pass and timing of pass so that Rashford gets onto the ball in this area before Trippier gets onto it or before Botman can cross him off. As Rashford gets onto it, he tussles with Botman and takes the shot with his left foot while Botman is all over him, so it takes a deflection off Botman's feet and goes over Karius into the net. Now I don't think there's too much Karius can do here because deflections can be extremely unforgiving for keepers. Watching it in slow motion makes it seem like he should save it, but I think that's really harsh in my opinion. The point here being, Weghorst is influential in making that goal happen, even though he got robbed of an assist. And I'm not saying he was man of the match today, but he was definitely in my top 3 players for this game, and I want all of you watching to give him his flowers because he deserves it. Just by looking at his stats at halftime, you'd think he was a box-to-box midfielder. 2 shots, 2 on target, 0.23 xG, 1 chance created, 0.19 xA, and of course this assist that was given as an own goal, 3 passes into the final third as well. And that's just the attacking side of the game. On the defensive side of things, he attempted 3 tackles, won all 3 of them, had 1 interception, 2 ball recoveries, 3 out of 6 ground duels, and 1 out of 2 aerial duels. That's a proper central midfielder's performance. I could have told you that Casemiro had these stats and you would believe me. Absolutely amazing from Weghorst today. Now we cannot end our analysis of this game without talking about the man of the match, Casemiro. What an absolute monster this guy is. He has won everything at Real Madrid, including 5 Champions Leagues, multiple league titles, and a whole host of other trophies. But you can see it in his eyes and his body language that he wants to win more. Just look at how he was celebrating after the win today. And there are no 2 ways about it. He is the biggest reason after Erik Ten Hag that we won our first trophy so soon this season. Don't get me wrong, Varane, Martinez, Bruno, Rashford, they all have the mentality and the skill required to win big trophies, but Casemiro plays in the most most important position out there on the pitch, in midfield. United have been crying out for a leader in the middle of the park, someone who can attack and defend, and this guy is it. He had only 58% pass accuracy today, but he managed 9 passes into the final third, 3 accurate long balls, and created 1 chance as well. Of course, he was solid defensively also, with 3 tackles, 1 block, 2 clearances, 6 ball recoveries, and 8 out of his 12 duels won. An amazing player who deserves this trophy, and of course deserves man of the match for his performance today. I think Erik Ten Hag can win at least 1 more trophy this season, but I personally think he can win 2 more. Let me know if you guys agree in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.